Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Daily Fix. I am your usual host and presenter, Advocate Tulo Hoyani. Yet another scandal is doing the rounds in South Africa. This time it involves a whopping 2.1 million. And at the center of the scandal is the Minister of Defense, Angie Motshekga. This is how I will break down this amount which is involved, which is missing, which is unaccounted for. And there are now calls by, among others, the DA for her to explain this missing billions. The first amount that is missing, there's an amount of 2.1 billion missing from Treasury that was intended for deployment of troops in the DRC. You'll recall that there was that contingent of troops that was deployed in the DRC as part of a SADC contingent to try and stabilize matters, especially in the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of Congo. So there is 2.1 billion missing there for that deployment. In addition to that, there's about 813 million, which was intended for DRC troops as payment, but which was never paid to the deployed soldiers. So she still has to account for that also, that 813 million, which was never paid to the troops that were deployed in the Democratic Republic of Congo. It would appear that each soldier is owed an amount of about 600,000. 600,000 is owed to each soldier who was deployed in the DRC. There is also an additional amount of about 415 million, which was wasted on VIP jets. Apparently, jets were bought for, people in her position and other VIPs, and these jets cost about 415 million. It is not clear how many jets were bought, but the total amount comes to 415 million. So here we are, South Africa, stuck with another scandal. We have been seeing how a lot of high-ranking officials, police officials, former Transnet executives have been hauled before the courts to explain, the tender fraud that they were involved in. Now, this time around, it is the Minister of Defense herself. Like I always say, the scourge of corruption in this country is just simply unimaginable. One wonders just what sort of people we have in positions of power. It looks like every one of them has got their hands in the cookie jar. Public service is just about, or is just a stepping stone to personal enrichment. So the DA will be dragging her to Parliament for her to explain these missing billions. And it is a very worrying development because this kind of, corruption, is so widespread in South Africa. It's so widespread in South Africa such that, ordinary people no longer have faith in people in positions of authority. People no longer have confidence in people to, execute their mandates as expected. Every second top government official is involved in one scandal or another. So here we are now. It is the Minister of Defense, Angie Motshekga, and we'll just see how all this pans out when it comes before Parliament. Because, like I've always said in the past, this country needs accountability. President Ramaphosa and those around him have got a lot of work to do. They have to get their house in order to restore the confidence of the public in public officials. Because as it is, public confidence in public officials is really zero. But it will be very interesting what sort of measures are going to be put in place to try and recover this 2.3 billion missing, which is probably in somebody's bank account as we speak. But you see, the sad thing is the president himself has been involved in a lot of controversial things. Remember the Pala scandal. That Pala scandal was just, sort of forced to fade away, and yet it is not the sort of thing that we can just, sweep under the carpet and pretend it is business as usual. So the commitment of the government, the commitment of the state president is also in doubt. His commitment to fight corruption is in doubt because a lot of people have got, perceptions that the government simply just pays lip service to the fight against corruption. So let us wait and see how this one pans out and how the DA makes that follow-up in Parliament and see how it unfolds. Yet another scandal in South Africa. It's one just fears for the future of this country with the sort of people that are out there in control. Having said that, let me thank you for watching this video and please have a wonderful day.